Off the pavement where the flowers growing. Concrete dreams got my heart open. Stay focused, your day coming, my nigga. I bet 100 yelling who won it. My prayers fall in abundance, and I split it with my team like the Last Supper. Catch up or get lost, we about to take off. You could be up in my ride, you could choke on the exhaust. We finna get on, I pray you live long. I hope your memory's strong, like love is gangster. Like love is gangster. Yeah, right. Like love is gangster. Yeah, like love is gangster.
More to love, more to see, everywhere we go. You ain't come to my side, then what do you know? The sun rises every time, even if we don't. I'm just praying that my sunset is beautiful.
What's up, you guys? My name is Adonis Williams, and most of you guys might remember me as that guy who went viral for that monologue on Twitter. The monologue I did the last day of my job at Nike in New Jersey. So yeah, today's just want to kind of give you guys a rundown of how that whole situation happened, and just tell you guys how that changed my life, because after that day it definitely did something to me. So yeah, so it was March 19th, 2018, and I had just came to the conclusion that I was going to move to Los Angeles to further pursue my acting career, because I've always been in love with acting ever since I was young, like super young. I knew I was going to be an actor. So living in New Jersey is not that many opportunities for film and television. So I told myself, man, I need to stop being afraid of all these fears that I'm having about moving and actually taking chances and taking risks. And I just put it in my head that I was definitely just gonna move to Los Angeles, California. Mind you, I have never been on a plane in my life, ever. Like, it's never happened. The most I've ever been to was like Pennsylvania, maybe Alabama, and we drove those places. So it was definitely a new experience for me, and I'm like a pretty personable guy. I'm charismatic, and like I would say, everybody loves me. And I worked at Nike in Paramus, New Jersey, and I was just telling everybody, like, yo, I'm out, I'm leaving, it's over. Like, I'm going to California, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna be exactly who I said I was gonna be, and that's the young, talented black actor that I am. So so it was my last day, and my coworkers threw me a little surprise gathering and a little party, and it was a good turnout. I had like 30 of my closest coworkers, and all of them there. They brought me cakes and cookies, and we had a little celebration. Goodbye, Adonis, you're gonna be great, well wishes in LA, it was great. So so to that moment when the monologue happened, so it was towards the end of the gathering, and everybody was surrounding me, and I was starting to get all teary-eyed, because I know it was my last day before I moved to Los Angeles, California. And the white guy that you see in the back, his name is Ryan Egan, he's my manager. And for some odd reason, he was like, hey, you're moving to LA to be an actor, right? So do a monologue for me. And I promise you, the moment he said that, it clicked. I didn't say, yes, I'm gonna do a monologue. I didn't agree. I just immediately went into character. And that's why if you look at the video, you can see my manager, Ryan, the white guy, kind of like, because he didn't know what the hell was going on. So while I was talking, going in the monologue, he thought I was still just being Adonis. But the moment he asked me to do something, I just went straight into character. And I did not know that my closest friend, Jordan Lee, shout out to my big brother, Jordan Lee, because he was recording it. And I didn't know that he was recording me, and I just went straight into the monologue from Antoine Fisher with Derek Luke and Denzel Washington. It's actually one of my favorite movies. And so he asked me to do a monologue, and I just went straight to it. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember just saying, send him to the gym, make him hit the punching bag. Ain't that what you prescribing? So why are you here? You feeling under pressure? Let me guess. Feeling like a rock is on top. Come on now, speak the hell up. You only got these sessions, man. What you looking at? What you looking at? What you looking at? See, some of y'all sick ass sellers, I need to come back after working hours. It's
Because see, that's when the good Dr. Davenport, he might lay hands on you. Or he might have a book in there with the answers to all your problems and all your questions. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Sing.
And that's when everybody just went crazy. And I just remember I was lost in that moment. I was just lost. I just did the monologue, and I didn't know my boy was recording. And everybody went crazy, and it was one of the best feelings I've ever got. And I say that because in that very moment when I did that monologue, I felt like I was here. So my boy Jordan Lee gave me the video, and probably like the next day I went to go play some basketball at the YMCA with my boys, and I just put it on Twitter and I wrote a message like, moving to LA soon, can't wait to go to Hollywood, just letting you guys know this is my dream, my passion, and I'm gonna be exactly who I know I was gonna be, the good, the great, the phenomenal young black actor that I am. And within minutes, I was like, I just saw my phone blowing up. It was just blowing up, and I was like, you know what? I got like around like 10,000 views, and I was like, okay, I'm popular, you know, yeah, I'm lit. So I went to go play a basketball game. And after that game was done, I come back, and it's like 100,000 views, and it's just skyrocketing. I'm getting messages from people all over the country saying, you're great. Michael C. Jordan, Denzel Washington should see this. He should be in Black Panther 2. Put him in Creed 2 as Adonis' little brother. And it just kept going from there. And it ended up reaching around like 3 million views. And it gave me the reassurance that I needed, that I was gonna be okay when I moved to Los Angeles. And that very moment, I believe in the universe sending these signs and all that. And in that very moment, I just knew that this was for me. And I knew that I was never, ever going to give up until I accomplished what I set out to accomplish for myself. And a lot of people hit me up asking for advice, how to do it, this, that, and forth. And I just want you guys to know that I'm also, you know, on the road to figuring it out myself. I don't have it all figured out. I don't think anyone has it figured out. The day we all figure it all out is the day we stop learning. So I'll always share my wisdom and my encouragement and my advice with those who are trying to do the same thing. And my advice would be to do it. Whenever someone asks you to act, just do it. Right in that moment. Don't be afraid. If you love it, you would not have a problem doing it anywhere with anyone looking. The world could be looking, but it's your stage, so just do it. Sort of like Nike. Just do it. And that moment changed my life. So there's a story behind the viral monologue, and things have been going great. I live here in LA now, and I'm still working towards that goal that I set, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop because I'm in love with it. So this is Adonis Williams, and that is the story behind the viral monologue. So, peace.
Yeah. Hey, look, hey, I'm back in business, I'm switching it up to grind mode. The golden child, my chain heart and my mind go. I got the vision, I'm seeing it through a blindfold. Keep the shit 100, I got no love for the 5-0. You think this ill, I'm just beginning to shoot. I'm making something out of nothing, dog, I'm living the proof. My new flows on 2 chains, but I'm spitting is true. It's true facts, I'm 3 stacks when I enter the booth. I mean, where do I begin? I'm in the lab like a chemist. Freaky girls at the shows, reaching out with my penises. Feel like Kobe winning in OT without the genesis. Beat the death, man, I'm treating it like my nemesis. 4 keys on the beat, alley-oop tennises. Live City squad with me, hold 4 up in this beat. All over the net, they showing love on some tennis-ish. I got the game now, you can have it when I'm finished with it. I'm mobbing with the homies like the old days. Ayy, I've been doing me, I'm on my own wave. Ayy, you be watching hard, that's why you so behind. Ayy, I'm the only one that's working overtime. I hit the game when I'm in overtime. I gave her 4 quarters, now she want that overtime. If I don't got it now, I'ma get it over time. Hey, I'm the only one that's working overtime. Standing on the couches in the function, know it's lit tonight. Do it big, boy, y'all the homies off the kryptonite. Hey, I Snapchat the story off the iPhone. Hey, singing dirty soda in the styrofoam. Yeah,
Beast mode, I'm in beast mode. I got cheat codes, we own until we gone. Hey, you gotta watch the snakes through a peephole. Act like they your ace, but then they hit you with the Rico. Round here, we don't approve of your funny acting. Round here, we only move if the money stacking. Round there's a bunch of fools who are dumb in action. Round here's a bunch of goons who just love the action. We talking cash, not the birds and the bees. My verse is me, the flow dope, I'm serving the fiends. I'm usually conscious, really man, I'm just being honest. A lot of dudes say they hot, but more like 30 degrees. But man, hey, mobbing with the homies like the old days. Yeah, I've been doing me, I'm on my own wave. Yeah, you be watching hard, that's why you so behind. Hey, I'm the only one that's working overtime. Hey, I hit the game when I'm in overtime. I gave her 4 quarters, now she want that overtime. If I don't got it now, I'ma get it over time. Yeah, I'm the only one that's working overtime.
Variety Digital, what's going on? My name is Trayvon Williams. I am a digital strategist / tour manager at a super dope company called Since the 80s. We're based here in Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm here to talk to you all today about touring. So let's get into it. My first tour opportunity was actually a major tour opportunity. It was with 21 Savage and Post Malone for the 2018 Summer Rockstar Tour. While I was on tour, I was in charge of handling the merchandise as well as the VIP meet and greets. And here and there, some day-to-day stuff just around providing assistance here and there. This tour allowed me to learn all the essential things that I need to learn to basically fuel my whole touring career. While I was on tour, you know, I touched cities that I never thought I would be able to touch, been to places that I really just imagined, you know, as places that I've seen on TV actually, like Denver, Colorado. I'm originally from South Carolina, so that's huge for me. So, you know, successfully completed that tour. That was my first tour. Really started from the bottom. Then the second tour came around I like to say I tour every 3 months, but you know, the second tour came around for me 3 months following my first tour. And that was with an emerging artist that I work with named Only One Felipe. We were on tour with Young Nudie. And this was actually one of my first times being the man in charge. While I was on tour, you know, I was basically, the responsibility was on me. It wasn't just, you know, you have people to look to. It was all on me, just booking, scheduling, making sure we're on time. And that tour was like the tell-all, like, could I do this or is it possible? And I prevailed. So 3 months after that, I went on tour with Neomza. I was tour manager for Neomza as well as ASEAN. They are super, 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 super talented artists that are on our roster. And they're also signed to Chapelle. So that tour, we traveled across the country, and I was actually tour managing two acts, not one, but 2 acts. So that's like, as you can see, like the pattern is kind of like a step up every time I go on tour. And then my most recent tour, I was tour managing Neomza, and she was opening for Dominic Fike. And this was an international tour. This was next level for me. One, because I've never been to Europe, never been to Australia, never been to New Zealand, but it was very nerve-wracking at the same time because you're responsible. You're in charge of literally everything that's happening. And there's so many things that could go wrong. Granted, I did have support from my team since the 80s back home in the US, but while I was out there on the road, man, it was just, it was scary. It was scary. I was the man in charge of so many people. But we prevailed.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, I got your call. Tell me what do you want? Tell me what do you want? You must want another song. Well, I'll get my metronome.
I'll try to stay in my zone. You was on your single doing you in a relationship. Mad because I dipped out, girl, you know I wasn't taking it. Expecting me to stay through your unfaithfulness and recklessness. A life without the best, that's gotta be a punishment, and I don't feel bad. And no matter what you say, I promise I'm not going back. I won't be a boomerang. I could write a million songs about the beauty of love and how it helps us grow up. Then I could turn around and write a million more about the pain you're causing. And what more do you expect from me? Let me take a break, cause you hurt me bad, and I ain't going back. Gina, my Lord, and all the other really cute references. I'm not a rapper, I be on my singing ish, and this the only way to evade my messages. And I ain't understanding it. All I'm really saying is, I just need some spaces in. Life could be so funny, yeah, it hurt, but it got jokes though. Guess I'm supposed to hurt and only keep it on the low. We ended on a bad note a few months ago, but yeah, you hit my phone, yeah, you call, I ignore. Faded thoughts of us holding hands, making plans in oxalis. Giving you the last of my conscious love. Forever doesn't last, yeah, we know this. I'm hurting and it's so obvious. Yeah, it's so obvious. Oh, skies fall down when you're not around. Yeah, my world does too. My skies turn blue. Yeah, it's so obvious. Cleared on the free side, tall enough to ride the ride. Tigers free, let's make a run for it. Let's hit the page with new lines. Cleared on the free side, tall enough to ride the rides. Tigers free, let's make a run for it. Let's hit the page with new lines on the mark. On the market. On the market.
What's up, Nelson?
Nate, my brother, what's good, man?
I'm all right. Thanks for joining me to talk about urban music, man.
No problem, man. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Definitely needed in times like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess to start, you want to let people know what you do?
My name is Nelson. I handle urban marketing and lifestyle marketing at a particular label. Been working in this industry for about 7+ years now.
Right on. And I'm Nate. I do lifestyle marketing as well and publicity, and I've been in the industry working in urban music, I guess, for about 5 years now. So I guess to start off real quick, Nelson, I did a quick search for our conversation just to kind of see what the internet had to say about what urban music is.
Right.
So I'm going to read you the definition and kind of we'll go from there and see what you think.
Okay.
So according to The Guardian says that urban is a word used across the music industry to include R&B, hip hop, and soul. Urban is rooted in the iconic ghetto, where the image of streets or the hood dominates how we understand Black communities. Urban stands in for Black often and comes with all the same stereotype, and this erases the diversity of Black experiences in all of the music. I know it's a bunch, so I kind of want to dissect it there and see what you think about what I said so far.
Man, when they started throwing in the ghetto and this and that right there, that was crazy to me. But for the majority of that, it makes sense. I feel as though urban music is a particular genre that caters to Black people. A lot of times, I think you have artists that get stuck in that genre as well. And I also think that urban doesn't necessarily always have to mean, that it's a black person. You know what I mean? I feel as though there are a bunch of other artists that dabble into that world to try and get themselves hot.
Right.
Because if you look at like the top 40 and a lot of the hip hop artists that get to the top 40, they label them as urban artists. And how they get to the top 40 is as black people, propelling the music or streaming the songs or supporting those artists. So,
right.
I just think urban music is anything that caters towards the black fan base.
I definitely agree. I agree, but actually, I'm gonna skip around our outline a little bit. Speaking about that, like we've both been at labels. We've both been at a few different labels. I've had the honor of working at 2 really huge labels, and at those places, urban music has pretty much always meant black. The roster I've worked on has always been black people. I'll be tossed a few other artists here and there who are pop or whatever, but most of the urban artists I work with, if not all of them, have always been black. So while I agree with you that urban doesn't necessarily mean black, I feel like there's a disconnect because internally, what I'm seeing is black artists exclusively on the urban roster.
Right. No, I do agree that like when, I guess that's a point that we'll get to in our outline. Because I also feel a certain kind of way when there's certain artists that do urban music. But I do agree that, when they say urban, they primarily mean a black artist.
Right. But obviously catering to the black audience.
Yeah, the black audience, correct.
Exactly. And not every black person is urban.
No.
But I feel like, my issue with urban is that it often groups black people together and it it does kind of dilute our diversity.
Right.
I feel like when you group everyone's urban, it's like, well, not every rapper is the same. Jay-Z is not the same as Nas.
Right.
Kendrick's not the same as Big Sean. Lil TJ is not the same as Polo G. Like they're not the same. There's different areas where rap falls into, or even R&B falls into. You have neo soul, you have traditional, and I feel like when you call it urban, it kind of makes it seem like everybody makes the same kind of music.
Right, and it doesn't. They don't at all. And I think like there's like glaring like examples of that. Like if you look at somebody like Chris Brown, you know what I mean? I feel like Chris Brown gets trapped in urban when Chris Brown's not urban. Like Chris Brown makes top 40 records, pop records. Like he's not an urban artist, but he's urban to the mainstream because he's black. You know what I mean? And I think like that's like a rabbit hole.
And he caters to black people.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole they put a lot of artists in, and it's just like, nah, that's not it. That's not it.
Right, but he also caters to the culture. Even though he doesn't make urban music, he caters to the urban culture, which I think is what you're getting at. Like
he definitely does.
I always say the same thing about. I would say this, someone like Rihanna. Like Rihanna makes pop records. In fact, I know Rihanna makes pop records.
Right.
And they want to give her R&B awards, and she caters to an urban audience. Everyone loves her at this point, but she caters to an urban audience, but she doesn't really traditionally make urban music. She's making pop records, top 40 smashes.
And that to me is like, I understand why the artists do that, right? Because if Rihanna just made simple like R&B ballads, they live in one place, right? R&B ballads live in one place. They'll put you on like a rhythmic format on radio. They might put you in like an urban AC, and then you die there. You know what I mean? It's not many artists that can do an urban AC or a rhythmic format and then go be on top 40 radio. So Rihanna has to make the records that put her in the best position for her to get on top 40, for her to get on like today's top hits on Spotify, and for her to keep that bag coming in.
Exactly. And that's why everyone loves Khalid. Khalid does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Khalid.
And
he caters to
he's
that
another example of an artist that has to make music. Again, nobody wants to make music and just be okay. You know what I mean? Like people want to make money in this, right? And a lot of times for certain urban artists to be accepted, they have to make pop leaning records. These pop leaning records open more doors than a traditional urban record will open up. So they have to make music this way so they can be seen in a different light.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are there any? I know we've mentioned a ton of Black urban artists. Are there any other artists that you can think of who would fall in the urban category, white, or if they're white, maybe, or if they're Asian or something else?
I think one of the biggest ones is Post Malone. I think Post Malone, when he started off with White Iverson, and when nobody knew what Post Malone looked like, nobody would have thought Post Malone was who Post Malone is. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would have thought that.
100%.
Post Malone gets the benefit, and this is no knock against Post Malone, he gets the benefit off of the culture without necessarily having to represent the culture. Now, I remember I saw this article that he was interviewed in, and he made a reference to saying, like, yo, I'm not hip-hop. I don't want to be defined as that. I'm not, I felt like he was, like, knocking the urban community. I'm like, bro, White Iverson, Allen Iverson was the first basketball player to be in cornrows and to sag his pants. Like, they made a dress code in the NBA because of Allen Iverson and how he came to games. Allen Iverson was revered in the Black community. You made a song called White Iverson. Like, did you not think that you were going to be, like, looked at as a hip-hop artist? So for him to say certain things, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I listen to your music. It's hip-hop based. You have heavy 808s in your music, bro. Like, certain things you're rapping, certain things you're being melodic on. Drake does that. Future does that. Like, that's hip-hop stuff. So for him to say that is still kind of
But the thing is that's the thing. That's the flip side of what we just talked about. Like, he's making the music, but he's not part of the culture.
Right.
Like, he is not, Post Malone is not in Black culture.
At all.
He exists in he exists in a silo, maybe parallel to us, but, and we recognize who he is and we recognize what the music he's making, but he doesn't recognize that, you know, these are conversations that we are having where it's like, you're taking Drake beats, you're taking influence from the Timberlands of the world or the whoever's, and that, I think that's the issue, is that even though he doesn't really maybe see himself as urban because he's not in the culture aspect of it.
Right.
I think they go hand in hand. And I think he's in half of it.
Yeah,
for sure. And he benefits, you know, from looking a certain way.
He does. And again, this is no knock against the people that we're referencing right now, but it's just like, you know, Black artists aren't afforded the same luxury. Like, you think of somebody like Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is somebody who's not Black, but a lot of the stuff that he samples is derived from older R&B songs. You know what I mean? A lot of the people that are in his band are Black artists that have traditional R&B or like church-like sounds, and you know, he gets the 100%. Benefit from being that. You know, and then I read, I can't remember, it might have been Complex or Fade. I read an article one time to where it said, you know, the world wants urban music from non-urban artists. It's more acceptable for them to be able to handle that. And if you look at some of the trajectory that these guys go on, they get the opportunities and the looks that a traditional urban artist wouldn't necessarily get.
Right.
So it's just like, you know, again, I kind of agree to that point. You know, like, the world wants Black music from like non-Black artists. It's easier to accept that.
Right. Now, because of that, actually, this is a perfect transition period. Neil Portnow. Now, we all know who he is. Love him or hate him, we all know who Neil Portnow is. And he said after Beyonce was snubbed for Album of the Year for Lemonade and Adele won, he made a statement that said, "I don't think there's a race problem at all. We don't, as musicians, listen to music based on gender or race or ethnicity." What do you think about that?
I mean, much respect to him. I just don't believe that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really break down. You have to break down, like, who the people are that vote for these projects. You know what I mean? Like, if you have, let's just say, 10,000 white people voting, and then you have 3,000 Black people voting, the white people who are voting for these projects are probably more influenced by Adele's music than they are Beyonce's music. Then you have to think about how many of these guys, how many of those 10,000 people are men, how many 10,000 people are women. what do they everyday lives represent? Like,
Yep.
it may be some people who don't necessarily listen to Beyonce because they don't like she performed at the Super Bowl and put a black power fish in the air. Like, there's so many different nuances to why certain people win certain categories. And for him to say something like that, I think it's like an ignorant statement. Like, we already know that there was an issue with the Grammy board with their non-inclusion of women. We already know there's an issue with them with their non-inclusion of minorities. So for him to even go down that rabbit hole was just a very ignorant statement.
I definitely agree. And for me, it's just like, I feel personally about the Grammys that, I respect the organization because, I'm part of the music body. I'm not a voting member though, but I respect the organization. However, you look at the top awards, like Song of the Year, Album of the Year, whatever, those have, they go to non-Black artists more often than not. Not only that, it feels to me like they have like urban contemporary album category. They have an R&B. It just feels like here, Black people, you can have the Black award, but you can't have the general category award. Like, you can't have the one that applies to all of us, but you can have your own Black award. So take your R&B award and be happy. Take your urban contemporary album and be award. But we're not going to give you best album because no, Black people don't make the best album.
Right.
It feels like that to me. It feels like they're saying, be happy, we're giving you anything. Right.
And I feel as though and this is just my opinion, another glaring example of that was this year. Like, I think and this is no knock against her. I think she's had an incredible run right now. But I think in certain categories, Billie Eilish shouldn't have beat Lil Nas X. Like, again,
I agree.
That guy was a big record, but I can't.
He had the biggest song of all time.
Right, but I can't think of 10 people. Like, if I walk down the street right now, I can't think of 10 people that can sing Bad Guy first verse to first hook. But I can go find 10 people in the Black neighborhood, 10 people in the white neighborhood, 10 people in the Asian neighborhood that know Old Town Road. So for me, for that point alone, 100%. Lil Nas X should have gotten an award for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, or whatever one he was snubbed on. I think like that was a bad example.
I agree. But also, Lil Nas X, not for nothing, is also not an urban artist. He's Black.
Black, right. Very true.
He's not a rapper. I would honestly say that he's alternative, if anything.
I would say that so too.
Because he's Black, we don't want to have that discussion.
And Panini are not quote unquote urban records. They're not.
They're not urban. And he not for nothing, like, he doesn't listen to that stuff.
Right.
Like, he's music. You listen to his music and you can tell who his influences are.
Yeah, you can.
9 Inch Nails, Nirvana, like, it's his musical influences are not urban, but because he's Black, they're gonna put him in the urban categories and they're gonna say, hey, you can have this.
Right. And that's the sad thing about it, is because just because we're all Black doesn't mean we all come from the same place, doesn't mean we all have the same influences in life. Like, again, he might have been, like you said, he was influenced off of Nirvana and 9 Inch Nails. I'm influenced off of Jay-Z and 50 Cent. You know, somebody in Texas may have listened to UGK and Pimp C. Like, we're not the same just because we're Black.
Exactly. We're not the same. And so I think that's the hard thing to explain internally at labels, externally to the Recording Academy, to all these people, to artists themselves. So a lot of artists don't understand it either. Like we said, we use Post Malone, but I know other artists too, where it's like, no, you are urban. You make urban music. And they don't really understand it. Or you don't make urban music, or it's not going to connect with audiences that way.
I mean, somebody else that I would put in that category is Snow Allegra. Snow Allegra is not Black, but she makes urban music. It's really good urban music, but she
exactly. Or you look at singers like JoJo. JoJo was totally influenced by, Aretha Franklin, and she sings, Christina Aguilera sings the same way. You sing like you were raised on soul, so you can make soulful music. Not to say you can't do both, but I would be more rather to put someone like Snow Allegra in the urban category than someone else, or like someone like Billie Eilish, who she profits off of the nails, the makeup, the wardrobe. That's urban culture.
It is.
But she's a little white girl from California, so and it's weird to me.
I just want to say this, like, for the artists that are non-Black who do urban music, if that was your influence, there's nothing wrong with that. If that was your influence growing up, or if that's
right,
is your way of paying homage to that. The problem is that we have certain artists who do urban music that don't pay any homage to anybody or give kudos to the people that influence them. You know what I mean? Like, if you're giving people the flowers, like, let's just say, like, Bruno Mars says, hey, I'm influenced by this person, that person. Like, there's nothing wrong with you making the music you make. Snow Allegra has No Idea in her corner, and she's influenced by a lot of other artists that made R&B records before her. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want people to paint the narrative that, you know, you have to be black to do urban music. No, you can be any color you want to be, but pay homage to the people that came before us, because they open the doors for artists today to be able to make the music that they're making now.
Exactly. I mean, we go on. I know other artists who are not black who make urban music, or who are not males, and it's not just rap. Like, it's R&B,
R&B too.
It is soul, it's all of that, you know.
Right. And then you see the artists that, like, you know, when their pop records don't work, they go and get certain features from the urban world. They start making urban records to try and get themselves hot again, and they just come in, piggyback off the culture, and then go somewhere else again.
And I think at the end of the day, we just want recognition. We want to be acknowledged, we want recognition, and we want our just due. It's not an issue. We share the space. We share the space so openly. As Black people, we let whoever in. Rap, R&B is constantly developing. And we let pretty much anybody else. We don't have the same amount of gatekeepers the way the alternative music community does, or the country music community does. Like, they're like, nope, if you don't look a certain way, if you don't sound a certain way, you're not it. Versus us, we're very open in rap and R&B and soul. You can be whoever. You could look like Shrek for all I care. But and we let you do it. We let you thrive. Like, we're all about progression of people, and we love our music and our sounds, you know, from Ray Charles to Lizzo. We love that progression of Black music, and we're willing to share it. I think, for me at least, I just want Black artists in our community to be recognized and not just dwindle down to simply urban.
Right. And I agree the same way, man. Like, you know, even in regards to, like, the Grammys, it's just like, Jay-Z made this quote one time that said, like, don't invite me over to your house for dinner and then make me eat in the basement. You know what I mean? I feel like the Grammys have done that for a lot of years, to where, like, okay, we'll nominate you for this, but your category is not aired on TV. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, we don't want that, man. We don't want that at all. We want our just due. And not for nothing, we make everything cool. Like, we make everything cool.
Say that. Say that.
Type of things, like the Renegade Challenge, the challenge that Megan Thee Stallion is doing, the something new challenge. Like, we make everything cool, man. People have to come to us.
All the dances, all the songs.
And the one thing I think we have to start doing, I think that we need to start charging a tax for these artists that want to come and piggyback off of our culture but don't want to pay homage. We need to start charging them a tax. Like, I think all these creators, they need to be able to find a way to monetize their stuff better and just charge people for when you want to come in and use up our resources, and then go back to your pop lane or your country music lane, or whatever lane you're going to go back to.
100%. I don't disagree with you at all. We have to find a way to better protect our community, because we haven't traditionally ever been so protective of it, and we've been, you know, bad deals, bad business deals. You know, people look and just make a quick buck. So we have to do better and find a way to be inclusive and not be exclusive, but also still protect what's ours.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I think that starts with, like, people in our culture just communicating more with each other, man. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with people banding together and sharing information. Like, it makes no sense for one person to have all the information and not share it. Like, if you get information, you're supposed to share that with the people around you so they can share it with people around them, and then information just keeps going and going and going. That's how we build. We have to build each other up for everybody to be strong, so we can, like, maneuver this landscape better.
100%. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Man, I feel as though, like, we kind of attacked a lot in this few minutes that we've been on here. So we covered enough ground.
I think so too. Yeah, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Talk soon. All
right, man.
Yeah. Shout out all of my soldiers, man. Keep signing up, man. I love y'all to death. Ain't shit changed but the scenery. Hold up. Hey, she said you gotta work them all. Why you getting hired? I told her I'm the CEO, it ain't no getting fired. But these bitches been on my nut just like a pair of pliers. Any two niggas say I ain't hot, man, that's a pair of liars. I don't gotta fuck with y'all, cause I fuck with me. I told her meet me in New Orleans, keep me company. I got a lot of work to do, so don't be bugging me. And when we done, baby girl, we can hit Bourbon Street. I got some thugs on the soil, we can hit the ward. And we throwing money like bees, ain't no getting bored. They thought we was on a vacation, no, we on a tour. And we like 100 soldiers deep, we trying to go to war. Wait, I'ma slide on mothers, get that gumbo. Kermit Ruffin, man, he treat me like an uncle. I'm trying to blow that brass out just like a second line. You won't understand this till you hear this shit a second time. I'm up and it's stuck. This is work, this ain't luck. I've been gone for some months. Where the Amber Alert? That's your girl, hey, what's up? Better up, apply them cuffs. She keep looking at me. If she flirt, I'ma fuck. Hold up, big dog status. Let's get that established from the hood, but I'm trying to touch screens like a tablet. They was sleeping on me, so I put some fire to the pallet. You look like a piece of pot and put that pussy on my palate. Wait, I told her meet me at the bayou. Looking like a snack, let me try you. Lame nigga, they be trying to buy you, but you priceless, girl, but you priceless. I'm not trying to fuck, I'm trying to wife it. Be my Motorola, my sidekick. You could be my man, don't need no side dish. I told her meet me at the bayou. Looking like a snack, let me try you. Lame nigga, they be tryna lame nigga, they be tryna lame nigga, they be tryna buy you. But you priceless, girl, but you priceless. I'm not tryna fuck, I'm tryna white fit. Be my Motorola, my sidekick. I don't need no man, whatever, man. Y'all know what the fuck it is, man. Shout out to all my soldiers, keep signing up. I'ma record that shit. Like all these look, they going on a project. All that's coming soon. We out here, man. Shout out my brothers.
Camera rolling. Audio speeding. Teleprompter prompting. Hello there, I am Rob Sherrell. My hair is not cut. My beard is patchy. And I've had 2 very cheap glasses of wine today, and I'd like to share with you the worst advice I've ever been given in my creative career. I'm 26 years old, and I do it all. I'm a filmmaker, a copywriter, a podcaster, a stand-up comedian, a production coordinator, and the list pretty much goes on and on. And the worst advice I've ever been given in my creative career was to pick a lane and stay in it. Early in my creative career, my friends, family, and peers would all say the same thing. Pick a lane. Choose one thing and one thing only to do and do it. Now, it's not necessarily a bad piece of advice. No, just not good advice for me in particular. I get that choosing one thing to do and honing in on that one craft or discipline gives you focus, and that will eventually lead to mastery of whatever craft you're practicing, which is not a bad goal to strive towards, but it's not the only way to get there. The mega multi-talents of the world that we look up to, like Rihanna or Donald Glover or Rihanna, please save us, Rihanna. They all started practicing their multiple talents and their multiple crafts at one point or another before it led itself to become another area of mastery that they were practicing. And when I started to get advice from other comedians when I was starting out, like Kevin Hart and Gerard Carmichael, I realized that there's no blueprint to this. There's no roadmap that lays it out. If I would have just did stand-up comedy, then I would have never started podcasting and gotten my first meeting with MTV execs when I was only 21. If I just did podcasting, then I would have never started filmmaking and won my first 6 film festival awards. If I just did filmmaking, I would have never started copywriting and started doing copywriting for a Toyota commercial. If I would have just did copywriting, I would have never started doing production coordination for Live Nation. Hold on, I'm taking notes up. My point is, do the stuff that makes you happy. I wasn't happy following the advice of my peers early on, and that just didn't suit it for me. I kept hiding behind the crutch of saying that I was an aspiring this or an aspiring that, when really I was doing it and I was those things. And I just wasn't, that good at it until I started practicing more and more, even in multiple crafts and disciplines. My advice to you all is, most of the time that when you are practicing multiple crafts, being versatile in one or another can lend itself to the other craft and strengthen necessary skills. So, young creatives out there, especially while we're trapped inside, essentially, explore your talents. Do what makes you happy. I did it, and I'm just a guy with no haircut, a patchy beard, and some very, very cheap wine. So, you don't have to pick a lane as long as you're enjoying the ride. Stay safe, stay healthy, and please stay the fuck inside and stay home. Yeah, it's doing it. Cut.
Hoping my love don't cause you fear. It's only my love that finds us here. As I leave out and close this door, promise you'll remember me as I do before. No, I'm not perfect, and I know you're hurting, but I am not my mistakes. I've seen it all before, the story of my life, and how I can be so sure, but only ever roll the dice. So here we are one more time. You say yours and I'll say mine, and I'll say things that I don't mean. Then I'll apologize, my queen. No, I'm not perfect, and I know you're hurting, and I know you worry that I'll never change. I am just a man, but I am not my mistakes. No, I am not my mistakes.
My name is Lestraundra, and I am the creator and host of the Balanced Black Girl podcast. Balanced Black Girl is designed to be a safe space for candid conversations about all things wellness. And with everything going on right now, I wanted to walk you through a guided journaling exercise to really help you identify and articulate anything that you're feeling right now, and to be able to attach a request to get your needs met in this moment. So go ahead and grab your favorite notebook, or you can just use a piece of paper. You can use your notes app on your phone. Wherever you want to record your thoughts, go ahead and grab that. Grab a pen, grab whatever you need to get your thoughts in one place. And Feel free at any moment to pause this video if you really want to take your time and write through any of the prompts. Actually, I really encourage you to do that. We're going to go through 3 guided prompts, and after I give you each prompt, I really want you to take as much time as you need to write everything that comes to mind, everything that comes to your heart, get it all out on your paper, in your notes, so that you can really just start working through some of the things that you are feeling. So again, please feel free to pause this video at any time. So the first prompt I want you to think about and then write your thoughts about is, what emotion do you strongly feel in this moment? What do you really truly feel right now? It could be anything from peace, boredom, overwhelm, grief, fear, anything, whatever it is, go ahead and write it down. But don't just write down a one-word answer. Really talk about how you're feeling. Really write out that whole narrative that is behind how you feel, right? If you are in a space of gratitude, write out what it is you're grateful for. If you are in a space of fear, go ahead and write out, articulate what it is that you are afraid of. If you currently feel at peace, write out what feeling peaceful means to you and why it is you're at peace. Go ahead and just get all of those words out. It's beautiful if this could take up even a couple of pages. All right, so we're going to move on to our second prompt. So reflecting on what you just wrote, where you articulated kind of what you were strongly feeling in this moment. If that was a positive feeling, I want you to write out all of the ways that you can help others feel that same way, or ways that you can share that with others. And if what you expressed was not positive, and that is okay and more than acceptable anytime, especially now, I want you to write out some of the ways that you can ask for and accept help to help you manage your feelings in that way. So go ahead, take all the time you need, either write out how you can spread that love and share it, or what you need help with and how you can ask for help, who you can ask that help from. Okay, so we have one last prompt, and for this last prompt, I want you to turn to a blank page or flip over your piece of paper, give yourself plenty of space. And for our third journal prompt, I want you to write a letter of appreciation to yourself for how you are handling this situation. I think everyone right now is impacted in some way, and I want you to take the time to be really proud of yourself for how you are managing. If you are still standing, if you are still here, that is worth celebrating. So take some time to appreciate yourself for all that you're doing right now. Thank you so much for following along with this journaling exercise. I hope that it was helpful for you, and please refer back to it as you're navigating this situation. If you have more thoughts or feelings that you want to add, this is an exercise that you
tonight. Stay for tonight. Stay for tonight. Stay for tonight. Find me in the morning. Find me without warning. Counting myself, call out to me, challenge my heart. Tell all you know, and I will carry the weight higher. Meet me someplace deep in your eyes. Meet me someplace baked in moonlight. Stay for tonight. Stay for tonight. Truly, deeply, your soul's in a twilight. Ever chasing love so on the cloud to glide away, glide away. Birds flew by, swiftly soaring to a place she could not see. Couldn't see. shake. I got it from napalm. I don't really know what it is. There it is. But you have to like invest, which is like sometimes embarrassing.
An investment.
To commit, you know? All right.
This is our last one. It's called Dreamer. Or Bloom.
Dreamer parentheses bloom. Yeah. Which way to go, ego, ego of mine. Somewhere I can begin living my skin license. I'm not afraid to win, not scared to lose. Call me a dreamer, new age believer, flower in bloom. Call me a sinner, beyond delivered, we are the doomed. Thick my skin, where we begin, human, the understanding.